There's major news out there. Conservative Georgia Congressman Buddy Carter, he sits on the House Budget Committee. Congressman, great to have you back here on the Salcedo Show. Free speech, as you know, sir, is under relentless attack from the lawless left. Now, you prepared a resolution to seek documents from the Biden administration on deplatforming cable networks like Newsmax, like Fox and One America News. What can you tell us about where we are with this?
Well, what we're trying to do, of course, is to have transparency. What's wrong with transparency, particularly at the FCC? I mean, we're trying to fight political corruption here. We want to make sure there's not political censorship. And simply by doing that, we're just asking for transparency at the FCC and asking for freedom of speech. I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't see that. What we've seen across the country is that we've seen the suppression of conservative voices, of conservative channels. And we want to make sure that there are no documents out there that the FCC might be trying to hide that would lead us to believe that Washington Democrats are trying to suppress conservative voices.
I think there's some there because now we're learning about what the Biden administration has been doing with social media, basically using social media companies to silence voices they don't like. So, Congressman, keep us posted on that. I'm very interested in finding out what comes of that. In the meantime, it came out today that Governor Gavin Newsom, when he was mayor of San Francisco, bought one-way tickets for homeless people in his city, making them promise never to return. And that's an action that now the governor of California is calling kidnapping when GOP governors do the same thing with illegal aliens. And he is imploring the Department of Justice to prosecute Republicans, not himself. Now you have Letitia James gunning for President Trump, asking the DOJ to target him. Next is the rest of you Republicans out there. Any concern among you or your fellow Republicans that all of this is going to collapse, that they are collapsing our justice system to turn it into a weapon against their political enemies like you, sir?
There's no question about it. What we see here is nothing more than, the liberal media falling victim to political stunts, just like Letitia James is doing up in New York. She's got a failed campaign, and she's just trying to divert attention from the violent crime in New York City to try and look at the Trump and just the Trump family. And this is nothing more but a ploy by her. And what Governor Abbott has done, what Governor DeSantis has done, I applaud them for that because they have brought attention to the problem here. And Gavin Newsom sending one-way tickets to the homeless, we're suffering from that in the 1st Congressional District. In fact, I have visited a number of shelters that are telling us they're getting people sent to our area. We've got a high quality of life along the coast of Georgia, and they are sending them to us, knowing that we're going to take care of them. Well, we're doing just the opposite. We're sending them back, saying, "Here's your ticket back to whence you came."
Yeah, and let's not forget, there in Martha's Vineyard, what was the first thing they did with the illegal aliens? Shipped them out. What did they do in Chicago? They shipped them out. Nothing but hypocrites. These left-wingers out there. We're all for illegal immigration until we have to deal with it. Let's get to the Federal Reserve hiking interest rates. Yeah, hiking interest rates again, Congressman. Raised its benchmark rate by 75 basis points for the 3rd time this year. That's the highest level it's been since 2008. Congressman, Democrats don't appear to have any effective solutions to counter the economic crisis they created through their rampant profligate spending. If Republicans are voted back into power, what is their strategy? Because I am seeing nothing from your leadership to get spending under control in Washington, D.C.
Well, we've got to stop the spending. There's no question about that. Look, when the Fed went up today on 0.75 of a percentage point on the interest rate, because we have $31 trillion in national debt, that cost our country $300 billion in interest on our debt. People don't understand the impact that the increase in interest rates is going to have. Yes, it's the Federal Reserve who is doing it, but that's the only way that they can fight inflation right now is to raise interest rates. We in the Republican Party, no, we're not going to stand by. We're going to cut this spending. We're going to make sure that we're not adding fuel to the fire. This Inflation Acceleration Act that was just passed by the Democrats in a partisan vote, that's the worst thing that could be done right now. We need to stop the spending. We need to make sure that we're doing no harm. That's what we need to do.
Yeah, Congressman, in my lifetime, Washington, D.C. has never spent less the following year than they did the previous year. They call them cuts. They call them reduced spending, but they have never cut back on their spending, really, while Americans are out there suffering. I'm praying that the Republicans see the light at some point if they get back into power. Meantime, Democrats' radical spending has only worsened inflation. You've already made allusion to this. But here's former White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki last year saying Americans, they got nothing to worry about. Watch this.
Why should Americans not be concerned that injecting another $1.75 trillion or more would further raise inflation?
Because no economist out there is projecting that this will have a negative impact on inflation. And actually, what it will help do is will help increase economic productivity. It will help economic growth in this country. That and the Build Back Better agenda will help reduce inflation.
And now she's on MSNBS. Perfect place for her to give that kind of spin, which was factually inaccurate. Congressman, many economists at that time were warning that trillions in new spending was only going to exacerbate inflation, including former Obama economic advisor Larry Summers. How is it possible that everybody in this nation knew this was a bad idea except for the Democrats and the Biden administration?
Again, it shows you how tone deaf this administration is. They just don't get it. You know, it is estimated by most economists that the Build Back Better, that the trillions of dollars that were injected into our economy by the Democrats earlier this year, that added 4 percentage points to the inflation rate right there. I mean, here's Joe Biden saying that, no, the inflation has not spiked. Well, it's just ticked up. Well, Mr. President, it went up from 1.4% when you took office, and now it's 8.3%. I'd call that a spike if I were you. But it is just ridiculous. And what is inflation? Inflation is when you've got too much money chasing after too few products. And who does it hurt the most? It hurts those people on fixed incomes, the people who can least afford it. Those are the ones who are hurt the most.
Well, Joe Biden doesn't have to go to the store, Congressman. None of your Democrat colleagues up there on Capitol Hill have to go to the gas station and fill up their tanks, or it's no sweat to them. It's only we, the people, who suffer because of what they do. But they're fine. I guess that's the good news, according to the majority of the press. Congressman Buddy Carter, sir, appreciate your time here on the Chris Salcedo Show. Straight ahead, folks.